First, we're going to talk about the Menendez brothers. A Los Angeles prosecutor said on Thursday he would ask a judge to release Eric and Lyle Menendez on parole after nearly 35 years in prison for the shotgun murder of their parents, as new evidence emerged indicating they were sexually abused by their father for years. The Menendez brothers, now 56 and 53, were convicted after the second of two highly publicized trials that captivated the U.S. in the 1990s because of their wealth privilege as the sons of a record company and entertainment industry executive. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon told a press conference he would recommend to a judge on Friday that their life sentences be replaced with a sentence of 50 years to life and that they be eligible for parole immediately because of their young age at the time of the murders in 1989. Lyle was 21 and Eric was 18. I believe they have paid their debt to society, Gascon said, noting their good behavior in prison. But he said other prosecutors within his office opposed their release and might argue in an upcoming hearing in favor of keeping them in prison. It was not immediately clear how long it would take the court to rule. Some members of the extended Menendez family, including the sister of the murdered father, have urged that they be freed. Jose Menendez was shot in the back of the head, and Kitty Menendez was shot 15 times at their Beverly Hills home. A recent Netflix series dramatizing their story revived interest in the case, but for more than a year, defense lawyers have been in talks with prosecutors about vacating the sentence or seeking a new trial, citing new evidence that came to light supporting the brothers' claim they had been molested. In their first trial, which was televised and ended in a hung jury in 1994, the brothers testified they were sexually molested by both parents for years and were acting in self-defense, and that their father threatened to kill them if they revealed the abuse. Prosecutors argued the pair were seeking their parents' multi-million-dollar fortune. A jury convicted them in a second trial that was not televised, but that same jury also spared them the death penalty, opting for life in prison without parole. And I'm going to interject. As most of you know, Rosie O'Donnell has been an advocate for these men, and she feels as though with this second trial that they had no defense because the judge did not allow the child molestation allegations to be entered into court, and they also had the same judge and I believe district attorney. Very interesting information. Gascon has said there is no doubt the brothers killed their parents, but cited new evidence, including a letter Eric Menendez purportedly wrote to a cousin 8 months before the murders in which he described the abuse. Had the evidence been presented at trial, the jury may have reached a different outcome, he said. Now, many people are going to question this letter. Why is it just now becoming a factor when it was written many years ago? Because you're talking about almost 40 years a letter was written. And this person had to have had the letter. So why did it not come out during the first trial, also the second trial? But we now know with the second trial, the judge wouldn't allow any information to be presented as evidence. So I'm also curious, because I can't remember the first trial information, if indeed the letter was allowed or not. So I'll have to come back with that information. Gascon said he still considered the murders horrible acts, adding, "There is no excuse for murder." Well, what about self-defense? Just saying. Investigators also are examining allegations from a member of the 1980s pop band Menudo, who said he was abused by Jose Menendez. Those allegations were publicized last year in a Peacock documentary series called Menendez plus Menudo, Boys Betrayed. So let's ask that question. Why didn't any of these Menudo members come out to the public during trial number one, trial number two, for the Menendez brothers to say, oh, yes, I believe the allegations because it also happened to me? Maybe if a member or two or more had come forward, or any other young men or boys who had been abused by the father, perhaps these men would not have been convicted. Gascon also said he was concerned by comments from a member of the prosecution team at the time that men could not be raped. Since the original prosecution, our office has gained a deeper understanding of the complexity surrounding sexual violence, he said in a statement. Now, one would say, yes, why would you say that? Because men are raped all the time. Men are raped in prison, in jail. Men are also raped out here in the public. But it's just forethought that many can't understand how a man could be raped by another man. Well, if the other man has the upper hand physically, then naturally the rape can occur. Because I'm sure a lot of people are questioning that with the Sean Puffy Combs dilemma with Little Rod. Those allegations started off with fondling, petting, groping. So one would say, you saw where it was going. Why didn't you remove yourself? Because why would a man allow another man to grope them, insinuate sexual activity or sex with other men if you're not gay yourself? Wouldn't you remove yourself? So when you have forewarning, you would think a male, a grown man, would indeed remove himself from the scenario. And it wouldn't keep happening to where then you say, oh, I was penetrated, raped, drugged, so on and so forth. So we now have information about a Peacock documentary, Menendez plus Menudo, Boys Betrayed. Gascon also said he was concerned by comments, once again, from a member of the prosecution stating that men couldn't be raped. But now they have a deeper understanding surrounding sexual violence, as he said in a statement. Gascon previously said he would wait until a November 26th court hearing to make a decision on the case, but he sped up the decision given the intense public interest. Very interesting. He also faces a difficult re-election battle against challenger Nathan Hochman November 5th. Gascon on Thursday denied politics had any role, saying his office had resentenced 332 other convicts as part of his policy addressing over incarceration. Well, so is this political? And you always hear that from outsiders, that anytime a district attorney decides to give a person a chance at freedom, that is the first thing that's always mentioned. Oh, this is politics. Well, a lot of people are interested in this case. A lot of people are talking about this case. And usually documentaries get the ball rolling on the conversation. But we also heard a year beforehand that defense attorneys were in talks with the district attorney to try to get these men free. So we have November 26th as a court hearing that is supposed to, he would wait until November 26th. But as he said, with the newfound interests, more people talking, he has sped up his decision to speak to a judge to have these men paroled. How do you feel about the Menendez brothers being freed? Do you believe they were, one, sexually molested by both parents? Do you believe they acted in self-defense? Do you believe they actually feared their parents? Because some are going to say, well, they were older, they weren't children at the time of the murders. So what are your beliefs? Please take the polls on my community page pertaining to the brothers being released to the public, and I'll read those findings before I check out of here. Should they be released? We also hear that one of the brothers is married. I don't know if it said it was Eric, and that he will be going to stay with that wife if released from prison. It was Eric or Lau that I read was married. So it's a very interesting conversation. How will that work out? Because naturally, one hasn't been with a woman in a relationship situation of living with someone because he's been incarcerated, the brother. So how will that work out? Coming out to newfound freedom and living with someone and trying to work out a relationship. Very interesting information. The next information is by the U.S. Sun pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. There is now another accuser. I can't even keep up with all these allegations and people coming forward with accusations against Sean Puffy Combs. This is just absolutely Ridiculous. Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of drugging a personal trainer before passing him around to his celebrity friends, claims the latest lawsuit against the disgraced rapper and mogul. Wow. Combs, 54, along with several others, allegedly sexually assaulted the man repeatedly and left him feeling like a party favor, according to the court docs. Wow. It's just unbelievable, all these people come down. The personal trainer claimed he first met Combs through a client. He said the rapper enjoyed watching his videos online. He was then invited to an exclusive after party at Combs' $40 billion mansion in the Holmby Hills neighborhood in Los Angeles following the 2022 BET Awards, says the suit. So what is the race of this man? Black, white, Hispanic? Just curious. Combs won the Lifetime Achievement Award at that event. After arriving at the home, the alleged victim says he was made to sign a non-disclosure agreement before being handed a drink. Wow. He then alleges he was forced to drink the tequila soda with a cranberry juice mixer before being taken into a small room, according to the documents filed on Sunday. Inside, around a dozen people, including some well-known figures, were allegedly engaging in a group sex activity, the suit reads. Shortly after entering the room, the alleged victim said he started to feel disoriented, dizzy, and weak. Combs is then accused of taking off the accuser's pants and giving him non-consensual oral sex, according to the filing. Repeat. Combs took off the man's pants and allegedly gave him non-consensual oral sex. The hip-hop icon then allegedly told the personal trainer to go over to another person in the room. The individual has been described as Celebrity A in the legal filings. The alleged victim says he was in and out of consciousness during his time at the party. Most partygoers, said to be both men and women, then took turns performing sexual acts with the fitness influencer, according to his attorney, Tony Busby, in the suit. So now you see that Mr. Busby, the attorney from Houston, who has 120 accusers on file, he is representing this fitness person. A spokesperson for Combs told The Sun, "It's disappointing to see the media and social commentators twist moments into something they were not." Wow. How would you know what they were if you weren't there? Interesting. Combs is currently being held in a Brooklyn jail cell as he faces criminal charges for sex trafficking and racketeering. Oh, my. Busby has said he is representing over 100 accusers in a series of civil claims he is in the process of filing against the mogul, who continues to deny all charges against him. The personal trainer's accusations form 7 new abuse allegations made by 4 men and 3 women, led by attorney Busby. Another of the cases accuses Combs of raping a 13-year-old girl. The suit claims 2 other celebrities joined in with the alleged suit at the VMA's after party in New York, according to court documents. The alleged victim claims she was attacked after having one drink that again left her feeling woozy and lightheaded at the house party in September 2000. The now 37-year-old woman alleges she was raped by Diddy while the male and female celebrities watched. Another of the fresh claims in the lawsuit alleges that Combs laced baby oil used at his so-called freak-off parties with a date rape drug. The suit claims Combs was known for dosing his guests with the date rape drug GHB, mixing it in drinks and body oils, the New York Daily News reported. Another new accuser alleged that he was abused as a 17-year-old aspiring artist at a party with Combs. The rapper has denied all allegations against him. Oh. Well, wow. So it says his mounting legal troubles finally came to a head September 17th when he was charged with 3 federal counts, including sex trafficking, for allegedly forcing victims to take part in drug-fueled sex parties he called freak-offs. Hours before his arrest, the U.S. Sun exclusively revealed the feds investigating Diddy were secretly liaison with Tupac Shakur murder prosecutors on gangland activities. So will he also be looped into the murder of Tupac Shakur? Many people felt this many moons ago that Diddy was involved. So what will the findings show as far as the murder of Tupac? The development also came after Diddy was named 77 times in documents submitted by prosecutors in the Tupac murder case. Aside from the Tupac probe, Diddy was already facing a slew of lawsuits, including one he settled with his ex, Cassie Ventura, after she accused him of rape and abuse. Disturbing hotel surveillance video from 2016 showed Diddy chasing Cassie down and then punching, kicking, and beating her in a hallway. 2 months earlier, in March 2024, two of Diddy's mansions were raided by federal investigators who seized 3 AR-15s, drugs, and 1,000 bottles of lube, which were part of his freak-off supplies. In addition to his federal criminal charges, Diddy also faces a handful of lawsuits with allegations of sexual assault, harassment, sex trafficking dating back to the early 1990s. Music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones filed one suit in February of 2024, claiming Diddy forced him to hire sex workers and participate in sex acts while he worked on his latest album. So this is where people will find a problem, as these prosecutors made derogatory comments about men not being raped in the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. This Little Rod allegation is strange because, as I said, you see that a person is groping you, making derogatory commentary. Why would you continue to be in their company? Why would you continue working with Sean? And why would you continue living with him? It makes no logical sense to me. And I also would say the same for a woman. You see that the person is coming on to you, they're touching you, groping you, they're bringing other people around to touch and grope. Why would you continue to be in their company, number one? And why wouldn't you file charges and or a suit first time you were touched inappropriately? Many people are just going to find that, baffling. Okay. Diddy has denied any wrongdoing and pleaded not guilty to the federal sex trafficking charges against him, but his battle is far from over. He faces life in prison if he's convicted on all counts. The pair were at a Manhattan hotel penthouse in 2022 when Combs told him that he could make him a star, says the court filing. The complaint alleged that Combs drugged him with a drink he handed him when he arrived. Combs is then accused of grabbing the underage boy's hand and forcing him to lie down in a bedroom full of several other people, according to the court docs. So it's obvious, if we're to believe these allegations, that Sean likes an audience. He likes people to watch. He likes people to participate in the sexual activity. And he also has been accused of filming the sexual acts, as you've heard of a sex tape on the market with others in the tape, and a famous person who is believed to be a minor at the time of the sexual abuse in the recording. Wow, wow, wow. So we have several people around in the room, and he's asked this boy to lie down in a bedroom full of other people. He then allegedly molested the teen's genitals for an extended period of time, trying to get him aroused. Wow. The former Bad Boys record producer has reportedly now demanded to know the names of his alleged victims. So I brought you that information a day ago, that he now wants everyone to be named who is accusing him of these said allegations. Combs is currently being held at Brooklyn's notorious Metropolitan Detention Center. He's been denied bail on multiple occasions. 3 times, matter of factly. He posted on Instagram for the first time since he was arrested and slammed with sex trafficking charges to wish his 2-year-old daughter Love a happy birthday. Now, who did that for him? Because he's incarcerated, unless he has access to an iPad in there, which they do have iPads in jail. I'm sure somebody's putting money on the books for him to have access to iPad and money on the iPad and a way to talk to people. He possibly has an email. Naturally, I'm sure he's getting commissary as well. So he'll probably be chunkier than he is now. I'm just saying, unless he's worrying himself and not eating. And on Wednesday, Combs' 6 children released a joint statement defending their dad and blasting conspiracy theories against him. They vowed to hold on to the truth and stay united as Combs faces a trial next year. The statement added, "Many have judged both him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. Combs' trial date for criminal charges of sex trafficking and racketeering has been set for May 5th next year. That's 2025. He has pled not guilty to the charges, with his lawyers Erica Wolf saying the claims are false and defamatory. If you or someone you know is affected by any of these issues raised in this story, call RAIN, that's Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, at 1 800 656 HOPE 4673. 800 656 4673. So, with all the latest accusations, a man who was a teenager, 13-year-old girl, now we have an ex-trainer who went back to a house, his LA home, with Sean Puffy Combs, other people around, other people in the room. We've got allegations of him groping these children, performing oral sex on the children. We also know that he likes to film his sex abuse escapades, freak-offs, whatever you want to call them. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing. Hello, Jess. Thank you for joining me. I don't know where else this can go because it's ridiculous. Because what probably started off as a 20-year deal in prison is past that now. Because there are just too many people. And if these people have any type of receipt, a tape, a text message, a threat, anything by email, phone messaging, messenger, he is doomed. And we know that Cassie had something. That's why he settled with her. Because she probably kept all her text messages to him. And you do have people who keep text messages. You know, they're arguing, bickering with people, what they said, didn't say, and they've got it on file. They can go back. I've seen people hold conversations with people, and they'll say, oh, yeah, he said this, she said this to me on November such and such, and they'll go pull it up, and you're sitting there thinking, you kept that text message? I don't keep my text messages. I may keep certain things for a while, depending on if I vented to, towards someone in a text or a voice text or something. But at some point, I erase it because my thing is, why hold on to it? Why keep it for what? Once you cut the person off, you don't have any dealings with them. You don't need it. You don't need it. You only need it if they call you back at some point and say, well, remember what you said at this time? And then you just want to go back and say, no, that's not what I said. And then you pull up the text. But I always feel like if the person ain't hitting on shit, it ain't nothing to rehash anyway. Now, as for this debacle, this is totally different than just a lover's quarrel, squabble, or disagreement with a random person. You're talking about sexual assault, drugging. And I also found it interesting that Gene Deal thought something may have been inside the baby oil bottles, lubricant. And lo and behold, now we're hearing a woman says she felt dizzy or disoriented after being sprayed with the baby oil. And this is information from Miss Kidd, her attorney. I guess she's still representing her. The same one who allegedly has a copy of a sex tape with Sean and a minor, which I find very disturbing and foul, because how can you be a victim, an alleged victim, but yet you have a sex tape of another victim who's possibly a minor in that sex tape? This has become a $2 circus pertaining to this heathen. But that's the whole point, that what is done in the dark will surely come to the light. So when you're out here having sex with people, persons, whether it's one at a time or 3 in the room, 4 in the room, 15 in the room, you should know that information is going to get out. Quite frankly, I'm stunned that it took this long. 30 years of sexcapades, sexual abuse, just now hitting the street is bizarre to me. Why didn't anybody file charges against this man and his cohorts? Because if you're a child, I don't see somebody not believing a child. People question adults, but not children. But what I always tell you, the flip side of that is, if a child can hold the secret, why can't an adult hold it? What's the difference? because people don't really want to tell they've been sexually abused by another person, whether they're a child or they're an adult. And then you're talking about somebody famous. So then it's going to go to, well, who's going to believe me? Who's going to believe this person would do this to another child or human being, an adult? Because you still have people who have that type of slow mentality. Oh, he would never do that. She would never do that. You can't say what a person would and would not do. You could hope they wouldn't do it. Pray they wouldn't do it. But you don't know a mindset of another human being. And we have seen these cases time and time again of grown men sexually abusing children and women and men. Nobody's going to readily go out here to the street and say, hey, I like raping people. I like raping children. Who's going to tell that? Nobody. They're going to deny it until the very end, because that is the worst crime you can be accused of, is sexually assaulting another human being, taking the cookie. That means you're depraved, and you're sick and you're tainted in the brain, that you feel like you have to drug a person and or sexually assault a person, however it goes. They say it's about control. It's also about sex. Because let me tell you something. You could be manipulated into doing things without sex being involved. So I hate when people just keep saying it's about control. It's about the sex too. Because there are many ways you can control a person, coerce a person to do things for you. People are manipulated every day and there's no sex involved. You have to know how to spin the wheel. Or as I love to say, spin the record. See, manipulation comes from knowing how to talk, gift the gab, perhaps. Just like a car salesman. He knows what to say to get you to try to get that car, buy that car. Same thing with going into a store. You keep looking at the dress, you try it on. Well, the lady may come over to you and tell you, oh, you look great, it's fabulous. Why don't you try that scarf over there? I think that scarf would look nice. Stay woke. I know all about it. I've worked in retail before. I remember working at a shoe store once. The manager had a contest, who could sell the most products, add-on products such as, lip gloss, things like that, purses. And who do you think won the contest? Queen. Because you have to know how to talk to people. Or as we would say in the street, finesse. You have to know how to finesse a person. That's why I said manipulation isn't always about sex. People are finessed every day into giving up their coins, their time, their money, their car, their bodies, all types of things you can be manipulated into doing where sex is not involved. It's called finessing. You have to know how to talk. And when you're using a drug, you really don't need any talking. Stay woke. Once the drug is put in a drink, then you guide the person where you want to guide them, if you get my drift. Now, who else is going to come out with an allegation against Sean Puffy Combs? The fact that his children are in denial, as I said before in my commentary, please check out my older videos, recent videos as well. I won't doubt that he's touched his own children because, as I said, child molesters, rapists, they don't differentiate. Once you have gotten a knack for doing this type of behavior, you're not going to really care what the person looks like. Hell, you don't care what they smell like. You're just a bum and you're disgusting. And he's disgusting to me because I won't doubt that he has raped a lot of people. And see, the purpose of using the drug is so the people don't fight back. So his children need to come out this fog that they're in, because I won't doubt they have seen behavior from their own father that was abhorrent, and they just never said anything about it. Because who's going to go to the street once again and say, oh yeah, I saw my father do this and say this, and it really wasn't nice what he did, and they're holding a secret. And one of his sons has been accused as well as being inappropriate with guests. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and you lead by example. So I won't doubt that he has finessed his sons to be groomers, and he probably groomed them. As I brought you commentary about R. Kelly's daughter, she's now claiming in a new documentary he molested her. So what did I say beforehand, before that allegation came out? If you will molest a child, you will molest your own. What is the difference? There is no difference. You'll rape a stranger, you'll rape your own child. You molest a child, you'll molest your own child. What's the difference? There is no difference. You're sick. Your mind is not differentiating. Oh, don't touch my daughter. I better not touch my daughter. That's wrong. But it's okay to go molest somebody else's child. Come on now. They got to put this dog down. New York has to put this baby dog down. He's got to go down. And sadly, there are more P. Diddy's out here. And they are famous and are not famous. We have sexual assaulters out here every day walking amongst us. You have to heed the warnings, because you are never going to know when you're going to be attacked or assaulted or groped. Anybody can just walk by you right now in a grocery store and fill you up. As I just saw commentary about a New York, I believe it's a politician or someone. She was in a jail facility touring it, and one of the inmates, a sexual deviant, grabbed her buttocks right there in the damn prison. So he'll probably get some added charges added on if he's not facing a healthy sentence or life in prison. He did it because he could. He had the opportunity. Here's a woman. Here's my chance to get a fill up on a woman. Do you know she was probably livid knowing that thing touched her? But she shouldn't have been on a tour of a prison with an inmate in the first place. She should have been walking with an official. And nobody should have been out of the cell while she was touring a damn jail. They knew better. You don't have somebody come in and tour jail, a woman in a men's facility, and have the men walking around. That's dumb. And it's irresponsible. And as a woman working in a prison, she's taking a lot for granted in hoping that she would not be sexually assaulted or groped inside of a prison, because we do have women working in prisons, nurses, staff members, guards, wardens, people coming in to minister the word, nurses, so on and so forth. You have to be careful. And then we also hear the stories of women getting involved with these men, mentally and also physically. And some have gotten pregnant by the inmates. That's a little bit of information. I may do a story on that on my Crazy America segment pertaining to that groping. See, you don't know people. And these cases are all similar. You don't know people. And this is why you don't idolize people and put them on pedestals, because as soon as you hear something devastating, horrific, you're in your feelings like, wow, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe she did that. And so now we have all these allegations coming out about these famous people. Garth Brooks, please check out my video from yesterday pertaining to Garth Brooks. He has now put the photos out of his accuser, ex-hairstylist. Are the allegations true? Don't know. Sean Puffy Combs, numerous allegations. 120 coming from the Bugsby Law Firm out of Houston, Texas. And that's not including the people who have brought forward allegations recently, which stands at about 12 or 13. So you're talking about almost 140 people now on the books with allegations of SA by Sean Puffy Combs and other famous people. Who are these famous people? Now there's a mentioning of a couple or a guy and a female that were in the room with the, I guess, the 13-year-old girl. Who were they? Were they a couple or just people watching wanted to participate? One male did participate, says the accuser. Who rapes a child anyway? What type of mindset do you have to rape a child? You don't have a good mindset. You're a deviant. You're Satan's spawn. Because there's no logical reason for anybody to go out here and be attracted to a child. Even if I looked at a young man right now and said, oh, he's handsome. If he looked too young in the face, I would feel bad. thinking, oh my God, he could be a minor. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's nothing wrong with looking at people and saying, oh, she's pretty, he's handsome. But damn, when you know that they are a child, come on now. And you still want to press forward? You're sick. That's my commentary on Sean Puffy Combs. A trainer he met, who obviously, I don't know if he's how well known this trainer is, but they met the BET Awards 2 years ago, and he was led back to this home and was assaulted allegedly. Don't know if this is factual or not, but these are the allegations. And the Menendez brothers, they may get a chance at freedom. The Los Angeles District Attorney is asking a judge to release them on parole. 50-year sentence with the chance of parole. So they've already done at least 35 years in prison. So perhaps a judge will favor these two brothers and release them. We will see. When I get an update pertaining to these developments, the Menendez brothers, Sean Puffy Combs, I will bring you an update to that said information. But before I check out of here, let's go to my community page and read you the said polls and see how you all voted pertaining to the Menendez brothers being free. Thank you for your time. Leilani Simon will get her fate soon. A jury in Savannah, Georgia, are deliberating if she is guilty or not guilty. I also read the findings from that as well. How will the jury weigh? And currently, Sarah Boone is on trial, and hers should be ending as well. We will see how two different juries in two neighboring states will decide the fate of Sarah Boone, who's accused of killing her boyfriend by leaving him in a suitcase, and a young woman out of Savannah, Georgia, who killed her 20-month-old son. And watching her in court is just enough to make you vomit. All this whispering back and forth with the attorneys and writing things down and facial gestures and biting her nails. And literally, I could just chew both of my palms out watching her. Deliberations in the Leilani Simon trial. What will the verdict be? Not guilty, 2%. Guilty, 87%. Not sure, 11%. I also asked you all to weigh in pertaining to Trisha Yearwood. Her and her daughter being shocked by the allegations, and also should she speak publicly about these allegations pertaining to her husband, Garth Brooks. 27% of you said yes, she should speak. 68% said no, 5% not sure. Did Mr. Menendez essay Menudo band members? 75% says yes, 6% no, 19% not sure. Will the Menendez brothers be freed? 60% yes, 17% says no, 22% not sure. Did Kitty Menendez know that her husband abused her sons? 88% says yes, 4% says no, 7% not sure. Did the father essay the Menendez brothers? 74% says yes, 9% says no, 17% of you said you are not sure. As for the Sarah Boone trial, was Jorge already dead when Sarah Boone called her ex-husband? 92% says yes, he was dead. 2% says no. 6% of you said you're not sure. Why did Sarah Boone call her ex-husband first after finding Jorge inside the suitcase? Why didn't she call 911? She was scared, 29%. She was role-playing for her version, 50%. Not sure, 21%. Sarah Boone said when she opened the suitcase, Jorge was purple and gurgling. Is this the truth or was he dead? If purple, he appears deceased to me. You weighed in. He was dead, 97%. He was alive, 0%. Not sure, 3%. Do you believe Sarah Boone's version of events on the witness stand? 7% says yes. 82% of you said no. 11% of you are not sure. Wow, wow, wow. And earlier I asked you all about schools banning electronic devices. 73% of you said yes, they should not be in school during school hours, cell phones, devices, etc. 22% of you said no, 6% of you are not sure. Two days ago, how do you feel about Sarah Boone's testimony today? Deliberate homicide, no remorse, 62%. Tried to teach him a lesson but didn't intend death, 21%. Not sure, 17%. Please check out Vinnie Politan's video 2 days ago pertaining to Suitcase Sarah. I commented under that video, and some people were just really perturbed. And basically, my commentary is that people kill people every day. You don't have to agree with the reasoning. People kill people when there's no imminent danger, such as with the Menendez brothers. Allegedly, there was no imminent danger, but they murdered their parents. So I compare the two. Sarah Boone wasn't any imminent danger, allegedly, but she left him in the suitcase. As I said in that commentary, in my comment, people murder people every day, and they don't have to be in danger that day from their perpetrator. But maybe something in their mind, psychosis, sends them off the rails, and they decide to murder the person. I don't condone what she did, but I'm also not Sarah Boone. And they show pictures of her in court where she was abused by this man. See, where she messed up, she filmed it. She should have never filmed it, because it shows she was callous in her behavior, in her commentary towards him while he was telling her he could not breathe. And it's too late to give advice to either one, because I think we already know what they should have done. One, they should have never been together. They should have ended the relationship. But she continued and he continued. And these are the ramifications for dealing with people. You don't know the moment they're going to pop off. That's just common sense. And it happens every day. As I said, it doesn't make it right, but should we be judging people for popping off? Because it's easy to say, well, you should have walked away, you should have left, because that's the consensus all the time, is it not? You should have left him. You should have left her. But people don't. They sit and they sit and they sit until they become detached from reality and the circumstances. And I said that in my comment. I believe she became numb. She was tired of him. I'm not saying what she did was right, but she became tired. So she exacted revenge. She will never say that it was revenge. She admitted that it wasn't even a lesson. She just wanted him to hear her out. But that's the point. She's never going to tell that because she's fighting for her life in court. Some believe she should have taken the plea. She should have. But she's possibly a narcissist. It's her way or no way. And that's what happened in that apartment. It was her way. That's the latest, everybody. Leilani Simon is facing her fate. A jury will come back with a verdict soon. Sarah Boone's trial should be wrapping up as well. And the Menendez brothers have a chance at freedom. And John Puffy Combs has a new accuser from a trainer that he met at a BET 22 awards. When I get an update to all information, I will bring it to you. And sadly, a young girl was murdered here in Knox County. They're not releasing the names of the young girl nor her perpetrator. She was 13, he was 15. It has come to light that he stabbed the young girl to death. Don't know why, don't know the motive. They found her dead on a trail. Someone found her dead, alerted authorities. And the trail sits near a subdivision, and you can walk through that trail to cut over to the Weigel's convenience store. And many children take that trail to get to the convenience store from the subdivision. Why did he do it? He's forfeiting his own freedom for whatever reason. And this is what I keep saying. People do things you don't like and have to agree with. You don't have to agree with the motive. But that's why I said people kill people, hurt people. And as they say, hurt people hurt people. What's his problem? Does he have developmental problems? Has he been in trouble before? Hell, who raised this kid? Did he have appropriate rearing? See, 1,000 questions you can ask. And has he been in trouble with law enforcement? And what will the judge decide? Try him as a juvenile or try him as an adult? And the fact that he's 15 and he's committed such a heinous crime where death was involved, he just may be tried as an adult. And I think he should be. So I don't know if he just lied in wait for her, followed her, chance opportunity, led her there, not really sure, but it has been said that the two children knew of one another. Prayers to her family, the school, the students, the community, because many people are shocked right now that a 13-year-old girl was found brutally murdered on a walking trail. That's my information for today. Like, share, subscribe. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. You will get notifications when I comment on other articles, and you'll get a notification when I upload a video and post to the Newsbreak. And thank you for those who have followed me from YouTube over there and vice versa. Those who have followed me from Newsbreak over here to YouTube. Thank you so much for your patronage. I truly appreciate it. And once again, thank you all for the kind words and encouragement when the Queen was not feeling her best, still getting tests and things ran. So I thank you. So far, everything's looking good, but we will wait to see on the final analysis of everything. But thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you. I really appreciate those who really believe in the Queen and what I do up here, and also concerned about my well-being. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $DeGanji 129 Cash App. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you so much for joining me.